Hey, what's up, Neil? How's it going?
Not too much, Kel. How are you?
Doing all right. So here we are, episode 2 of season 2. Still doing it.
We did it. Still doing it. I can't believe we are still doing it.
And I think we have at least doubled our supporters to at least a half a dozen now. But who do we have here? Looks like we have our first recurring guest, Jon Schack.
Yeah.
Welcome back, John.
Thanks.
And who have we brought with you?
Yeah, this is my son Nathan.
Nathan, welcome.
Yep.
Welcome to the show here.
I figured I talked about him so much last time, I had to bring him this time.
Yep. Well, and you know, the funny thing is, as we get a little older, and as we've, I don't want to say groomed our children with music, but exposed them to music.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, hey, it's my car, you listen to what I like, and you know, you don't like it at first, but eventually it sinks in. And then we end up having built-in concert buddies. Yep. So, kind of the same thing. I think you are, sophomore?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore.
At Michigan State?
Yep.
Might want to get a little closer to the mic just to make sure we can hear you there.
My bad.
No, you're good. I'm sure this is probably your first podcast.
This official, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, welcome.
Yeah, this is super official.
And I know from day one, your dad was super supporter for us, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
It was obviously one of our initial guests, which I believe was the first time, Neil, we did 2 episodes in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it was like going back 30 years in college, where sometimes it takes you a little while to piece together what we talked about.
Yep, that's right.
So, but not only was he a huge supporter from the start, but you were always kind of checking us out right from day one as well.
Yeah, the Instagram I would always comment and share on.
Yeah, which was cool because, I wasn't doing Facebook at the time, so your dad wasn't on Instagram, so it was almost like we were going through you to get to each other at times.
That's right.
True.
Yep.
And then finally, LinkedIn, you'd be...
Yeah, LinkedIn.
We're not as active.
Yeah,
we got to be a little more,
Yeah, it's a little professional.
We're a business.
Yeah.
We have an LLC.
That's right.
But anyway, early on, I would definitely see you being on the show, so it's cool that both of you are here. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, we'll get to that in a minute. The first thing I want to ask you is about your concert experiences, because that's what the show's about. 2 dudes, killer tunes. We go to shows. We talk about it. Ones we've been to 30 years ago, like we have with your dad, or ones we went to, going to. What was your first show?
So my first show was Tyler, the Creator, my senior year of high school. Okay. I never really wanted to go to a concert before then, and I was just like, screw it, let's just go. And I fell in love with concerts right away. So I went to that in February. I saw Tame Impala 2 months later in Columbus.
Oh, nice.
Which that got rained out, and then they went on at 11 o'clock at night, so we were there till 2 in the morning, and that was insane.
Tame Impala's good. I've never seen them, but
they were incredible in show, because the visuals was part of it. And
nice.
That was
it's the whole experience,
yeah,
right?
It's the whole experience.
So you mentioned Tyler. I was there as well with both of my youngest. And, that whole experience there. I could see why you'd be sucked in right from the start. 2 stages, you had the boat going back and forth. Now, for the show, where exactly were you in relation to all the stage and everything?
I was so we went really early because I wanted to see the openers, because it was Tizo Touchdown, who you saw at Scott.
That blew my mind. We'll get to that in a second.
And then it was Kelly Ulches,
yes.
And she's good. I like her set was really good. But so we were right in the front of the pit, and we were right next to where the boat went. And
okay.
So I got a cool picture of that.
Nice.
And Tyler just puts on a hell of a show.
The part that blew me away was it was literally him.
Yeah.
On 2 stages, and there's both went in between, but there was no hype man, no even DJ on.
Right.
It was just him, and it was you were mesmerized.
Yeah,
and just
wild.
The theatrics of everything, and the fact that it was, you could tell that it was live. It wasn't like he was pre-recorded.
Right.
He was up there doing it. And I was really, really impressed. And I think, because sometimes you might go to a hip-hop show, it might be hit or miss based on sound and stuff, and LCA is a big place. But, yeah, that was a really sweet show.
That's one thing he always does is he gets the crowd really involved, and his fans are always I knew every word of every song. So I was super excited to be there, and it was just it was really cool.
That's what I noticed too, because even though I went with my 2 youngest, they went with their friends and that. And at first, I didn't know if I was going to go in. I'm like, screw it, I'll just buy a ticket. And
Yeah.
I just kind of like stood, in the stairwell, like on the first, above the lower bowl.
Yeah.
And just kind of in between where of the two stages. And I'm like, man, every single person was up there. Every single person was like singing along. It was like insane. Like it was a really great experience. So I can understand why they would be sucked in with that. So have you been in anything since or what?
Well, I went to Tame Impala and
Okay.
then Incarceration, obviously. I went to
We're gonna get to that one big time.
I'm kind of blanking right now. What else have I been? Oh, well, Red Hot Chili Peppers, obviously, with you.
That was
that's right.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
That was probably the most fun I've ever seen him have.
But I'm not a Chili Peppers guy. But
Yeah,
it's a great show.
Yeah.
Every single song. I've seen them live before, Lollapalooza '92, and I mean, you can't argue.
Dude, it's my favorite band ever.
I know.
And
And I get it.
that night,
You know what?
like I've
And I
never
will
seen
say,
them. I've
when
never
I-
seen them. So like,
When I was in high school, was it Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic?
yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
What's the one? Something the girl.
Breaking the Girl.
Breaking the, I love that.
Great song.
So I do.
Great
I
song.
mean, I get it.
Yeah, their old stuff's
I always say, I hate the Rolling Stones, but I also love like 24 songs.
Yeah.
That's like
So-
that's our song.
Yeah.
It's me being like that snobby gatekeeper guy
Yeah.
or whatever, that asshole that everyone hates.
Shaq still wonders why you do not like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I didn't wear the T-shirt today, but
I do
Last
notice
time
the
I
other
did.
T-shirts. So,
oh yeah,
So the one thing when your dad was on the first time, like that was when he decided I'm buying tickets to
Yep.
Incarceration.
that's right.
Which I see you're wearing the shirt, which is
Yep.
sweet. And then so you two went to Incarceration.
Yeah,
Yes.
It
yeah,
was just you two.
yeah. Just the two of us.
All right, so take me from when you were
and
here on this show.
Oh.
You said I'm buying tickets. What the hell happened?
Well, I mean, just to back it up, I mean, you guys remember the only reason I even found this thing was prepping for this show the first time. Limp Bizkit. I was trying to figure out if they were performing anymore, right? And that's when I happened upon this festival, and it's in Ohio, and I'm like, okay. So I
Mansfield,
looked in, and then
Ohio.
it was at the place where Shawshank Redemption was.
Yes, the prison
yeah.
of Shawshank Redemption.
So all the pieces fell. I'm like, all right, we gotta go. So I think we decided here that I was going to do it, and then we were driving to Florida for my daughter's dance nationals, and we were staying in a hotel in Gatlinburg,
Tennessee.
yeah, and he and I went to B-Dubs or something, and
Yeah. We went to B-Dubs. We
we had some drinks, ate some wings, went back to the room,
had some more
Bought some
drinks.
had
Tickets?
some more drinks, bought some tickets.
we got kicked out of our own room by Genevieve. So we're
Yeah.
like in the lobby just hanging out. And he's like, "You want to go to this festival?" I'm like, "Yeah." I
But
thought you weren't gonna ask.
The funny thing is, like, I think he fell asleep before I bought the tickets. But so I bought them, and then like the next day I told him, hey, and it wasn't buying it. It was we got on a wait list.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm like, well, if it doesn't happen, whatever. And then like 2 days later,
You found
it
out you got
happened.
him.
But I found out like a week later. I realized a week later I didn't buy the tickets. I bought the camping passes only. And I'm like, shit. Well,
Well, if nothing else, you can go
We're gonna
camp.
go hang out
and
with
hear it.
you.
no, yeah. So I bought 2 camping passes, which you need
Don't
one
need
for
me.
2 people, right? So I had an extra camping pass
And
and
no
no tickets. So then I ended up figuring out, whatever. I bought the tickets, and then I sold the camping pass to some guy. I drove to almost the
I
Ohio
forgot
border
about that.
to hand them off to this rando guy.
How much did you sell? Did you get?
I was like
some money?
75% of the.
Okay.
It was. I think it was $400 or something like
Well,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. They were expensive. So but
So you get to the show, right? So it's a
Yeah.
3-day. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah. So we went. Actually, you can stay there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but
there the
we
night
got there
before.
Friday because I had to work. I think you had to work too.
Yeah, we both had to work.
So we drove down like noon. I think we left. So we got there a little bit late after the show started, but we got to our campsite, set everything up, and then we went. We had to take the bus over to the facility because it's like a 10-minute ride or something.
Oh, okay.
So like they have like school buses that like they pack you in and then drives you to the prison.
Yep.
And then we walk in. We both are like, "Whoa," because Suicide Silence they were performing.
Yeah, it was just.
Well, so what was? So you walk in. It's like you're walking through the prison walls. Though, to walk in.
It was like the prison yard.
Yeah.
So you walk
The
in
show's
through
in
into
the
the
yard.
yard, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and they do tours and stuff of the building itself.
So, what kinds the bands? I mean, I know you said Limp Bizkit was kind of the one that drew you there. So who else was there? I think
Pantera was headlining, and then Slipknot was the headliner on Sunday. Which, to be honest, I'd never listened to him before.
I was a big fan of him.
Yeah, and he liked him.
So you guys went full hardcore from Friday to Sunday until it ended, and then you took off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because we both had work. Like I had work at 7 a.m. Like
we drove home Sunday night after Slipknot.
After Slipknot,
and then worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we got home.
Did you work too?
I did.
Holy shit.
I was working from home still then, but.
Okay.
We got home at 2. I had to get up at 5 to get ready for work, and then I landscaped all day after that.
But the thing, it was so like there's two main stages, like the main stage, and then there's like the other.
Kind of it's still a main stage.
It's a main stage, but it's the second stage. Right. And then there's a third stage, like way in the back by the prison. That's like, it reminded me of the 311 thing I told last time.
Like the old second stage.
Yeah, it was just a little stage.
Maybe 100 people.
Yeah, it's like the guy was sitting on this table, you know? Like, there's 20 people out there. But so the third stage would
start. Which is how I saw Tool at Lollapalooza.
That's how I saw 311 for the first time.
Lollapalooza 93 at Milan Dragway. I literally was like walking by and I'm like,
you're like, who the hell?
Holy shit. It was fucking Tool, and there's like 50 to 100 people, and they're just fucking going. Nathan is going nuts.
Tool. Nathan has a Tool shirt.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll get into some Maynard later, too, I think. So I want to get back to incarceration.
Yeah.
So if I remember correct, too, a day or two before you even left,
oh, God.
you ended up holed up with a back problem.
I went to the ER on Thursday. Or Wednesday.
Wednesday night, right?
Wednesday night.
Didn't you spend the night in the hospital?
No. That guy, they tried to tell me I was going to spend the night. I'm like, I'm not fucking spending the night.
Okay, so you went Wednesday
night. I'm going to be laying on the ground in a tent in 2 days.
In 48 hours. Yeah. Like, I'm not.
It doesn't matter what you do.
I'm like, just give me some muscle relaxers and get me out of here. Yeah, I couldn't get out of bed Wednesday morning. Like, I literally crawled to the bathroom. My wife took me to the ER.
Yeah, I tried to pick you out of bed. And,
they tried to pick me. It was the worst pain I've ever had, I think.
You know, I've always heard that, right?
Yeah.
Like, until you've actually experienced it,
it's the weirdest thing.
You can't explain it.
No.
And it's like you don't understand how you just can't get up.
It got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to piss in the bed. Because I had to go so bad. I couldn't get up. And I was just, these guys went to work. I was all by myself at home. I got like a chair and I was trying to crawl to the bathroom and the dogs are looking at me like, what is going on?
I gotta say, Uncle Steve. This reminds me of my uncle. I don't know why. But my Uncle Steve, and I think you might even have met him in the wheelchair. Right?
Yeah, yep.
And I remember one time we were at my brother's and he would stay there when he'd come in town by himself and that. And it was just me and him. And he's like, hey, Cal, I hate to ask you this, but if I don't, it's going to cost us 30 to 40 minutes. And I'm like, what's the problem? You know when your zipper gets pointed down?
Oh, no.
And it's like down there.
Yeah,
it's
stuck.
Like he's like, can you get this fucker out for me? Because it'll take me, 30 minutes to this idea. And that's what it reminds me. You're in bed. You can't get out. You can't do nothing. And you need that help. And it's just like, screw it, I'm done.
I thought that was going to be something
so that was
Mary
2
moment.
days, not even 2 days, like 36 hours before you're heading to incarceration.
Yeah, literally, yep.
All right,
and that first day, I just
So who played on Friday night?
Well, Limp Bizkit played Friday night. That's why we were like, we got to get there.
Okay, all right. So how was it? That was your first time ever seeing them?
Yeah. I mean,
was it what you expected? Was it good?
First of all, I had my Two Dudes shirt on. So that was.
I remember the picture. I did post it on social media.
You did. Yeah, but they were.
I'm picking my game up.
Yeah,
picking the game up.
You are. It was a great show. They fucking rocked.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I always gave you shit. And I think we talked on the first one, like, hey, I got that new Limp Bizkit album. I'm like, what? Did you lose a bet? He's so happy at work. And he's like, Monday morning.
It's all right.
But I've always said, I get it. Not everyone likes the same shit, and you love that. It's not really for me, but I get it. Would I go to a show? Absolutely, because you know why? The energy there.
Oh, it was.
That's what it comes down to. It might not be something I'm all about, but that crowd, I can only imagine what the energy when they were that first song and that, and then they hit that other song that everyone's just like, oh my God.
dude, it was.
Fred Durst just like put on a hell of a show. Like he's just
We
like
gotta tell
he
this.
came out. So he came
Yeah.
out with like an afro and like
You showed me
Yep.
the picture before,
Yeah.
like so that's how I knew it was.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
and like
Go
his
ahead, Nathan.
on another concert like it was the one in Tennessee that Tool was at
Yeah.
this September. He came out in like a cowboy outfit.
Oh, did he?
And
Yeah,
it-
the full country.
yeah, the full country,
Yeah.
and they had like a backup.
Yeah, like
so, like,
that must
Yeah,
like
go
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And so after like it was Saturday, and we're in line for the prison tour, and this guy's like, we're talking like about how good Fred Durst was. I was so like surprised of how good he
Yeah.
was, and this guy's like, wait, that was actually Fred Durst? I thought it was just some cover band.
Yeah. No. The story
what was
goes.
it
We
again?
were talking to this couple behind us in line, and this guy goes, "Yeah, I can't even. We fucking left early last night." We're like, "What do you mean you left early?" He's like, "Well, Fred Durst didn't even show up." We're like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, because he came out. With,
Yeah.
Well, he looks like he
Yeah.
looks different.
Right,
Right, he didn't
right.
have the red hat backwards.
Yeah.
So this
And
guy
he's
from
still doing the
Ohio.
same show.
It was the
It
same
was,
exact show.
It
Yeah.
sounded exactly like him.
Yeah.
It was like
So this guy left early thinking it wasn't Fred Durst.
So I have to say this
Unreal.
now. We went to mud hunting at the Magic Band.
Yeah.
Hey, Phoebe's making an appearance. Oh, there she is. All right. Everyone loves Phoebe. But no, we went to mud hunting at the Magic Band. And one, obviously it's an older crowd.
Yeah.
You know, but one, I was never a huge mud hunter fan. I had some of their CDs, you know, but they were always kind of like the other Seattle band.
Right.
Well, one, they blew me away. And they're a lot heavier than what you remember of like,
Really?
the Seattle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
almost like a heavier metal. I mean, I would say.
Yeah.
And
I got to give him a listen. I don't really.
I knew, like I said, they have a song on the single soundtrack. There's some of the
Yeah,
other ones
yeah.
that I know.
Okay.
But it was like, but like seeing them in that small venue and just
Yeah.
tearing through those songs and unbelievable. So I want to get back to incarceration.
Yeah.
Because that still is. I love how it grew from here. I love how you guys went, just the two of you, father, son. So Friday night's done. Limp Bizkit, you got to be amped up. You get back to your campground. What's that like?
The campground was pretty low key. Actually,
Yeah?
they had like they actually had a stage there where like I think it was people that were camping would go up and play or
It's
whatever.
kind of almost like open
Yeah,
mic or
yeah.
whatever.
But we just went back to our campsite. I think we were pretty dead that day.
Yeah,
that night.
we were like drinking all day,
Yeah.
and then we came
Yeah.
back, and people were going to bed because it was like midnight when we got back, give or take.
Yeah.
And like we were just like listening to music, like we were listening to Pantera and like some of the other bands that were performing who we wanted to see, like most.
Oh, then for the next day.
Like
yeah, we were
Motionless in White.
prepping
Yeah,
for the next day.
Well, pregame.
Yeah, for sure.
You got
yeah.
pregame.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because we actually, you know, and not everyone understands, but sometimes we'll do, hey, there she is. We'll do back-to-back episodes
Yeah,
on days like
right.
today. And so we were pre-gaming, obviously, and then after the first one, you post-game. And
Sure.
then me and Neil were talking about pre-gaming again. And my
Yeah.
wife goes, how much of this did go? I'm like,
It's just game
we got to
time.
talk about what didn't go right in the first
Yeah,
one, and
that's
we
right.
got to talk about what we're going to do in
There
the
you
second
go.
one.
There you
right?
go.
So
It
Love it.
becomes
there's a lot of gaming going on.
Yeah.
Gaming
theory.
Post gaming, the post gaming, the pre gaming.
But, you know, so Saturday, who was the headliner then? Pantera?
Pantera was.
That had to be pretty sweet.
Pantera they were great.
When
they
did,
were really good.
so, and then one of the other ones, though, you guys, well, we had a video of you actually crowdsurfing.
Yes.
And I think it was for Bush.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So
Bush.
they play Saturday then as well? Or
So
was
it
that
was
Sunday, weren't they?
Let me see your shirt.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They were Sunday, but
Okay.
Megadeth.
Megadeth
played Saturday.
and-
Shit, Megadeth was there too?
Yeah.
they were.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a goddamn festival.
Oh, there were some new bands I've never heard of. Like Motionless in White was
Slaughter
really
was-
good.
Slaughter
Slaughter
was-
to Prevail, like super heavy,
Best.
but they were. The dude took the microphone and smashed himself in the face until it started
Pretty
bleeding. This chick gets stomped in the pit, so he stops the show, and then like after they clean it all up and take her away, he goes, "Oh, shit happens,"
You gotta.
and they redid the whole song.
You gotta explain who they are.
You
They're
can
like-
explain
they're-
it.
so-
You know it better than I do.
So the frontman's this Russian guy, and then they have like an English guitarist, and then the drummers are from Russia. But they're like just hardcore like metal. Like
it's
just,
like death metal.
It's
like
it's death
so,
metal.
like,
a lot of screaming.
Like those festivals you'll see like over
We just like beat the crap out of people.
But the
like,
dude
that's what it
does
was.
this like deep roar,
Sounds
and
like
then he
Alligator.
rolls his R at the same time. It's like the weirdest sound. He's
And they have like
crazy.
We
really
were
good.
we were watching Motionless in White, and like some guy was like, if you see anyone,
We were standing with a guy who had 2 kids. They were like 8 and 9 years old, and they were
Crowd
having a
surfing.
competition to see who could crowd surf the most during that set.
so we were just throwing these
So
kids.
Nathan and I were picking up these kids and crowd surfing.
back. You shouldn't be throwing anyone.
Oh no!
By the way.
But they crowd surf to the front. They run back and do it again.
Yeah, it was sweet.
So this guy started telling us about this other
So
band, and
he's
that's
like-
why we walked over to the second
hilarious.
stage.
Because I know who they were, because like their biggest song, Demolition, like it's a pretty big song. But
Yeah.
he's like, if you see anyone this weekend, you have to watch them, and because they have like a cult backing who like kind of like Deadheads, of how they follow them from show to
Right,
show.
yeah.
Like, and he was one of those guys. And that set, like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go in the pit because like I didn't want to get killed, but I'm like probably the greatest experience of my life because like you just get tossed around, you hit people. It was like
See,
insane.
I was never a big pit guy.
I loved it, but with my back, I'm not going.
For me,
anywhere
I
near
would
it.
try to get as far up
Yeah.
as possible so that people would fly over. me.
Yeah,
But I was always a bigger guy too.
yeah.
You know. And I remember I crowd surfed one time at a show,
Oh,
and I went up and they threw me. Then I had to go all the way back around. And you have to work all the way back
Yeah.
down. Well, that sucks. I'd rather just be all the way up.
yeah.
You know, so I would just, I wouldn't be a dick, but
Right.
you just kind of weasel away until you get up there, and then you kind of crouch down so they get over you. You know.
Well, that was the thing. Like the Friday night, our first day there, I wanted to get as close as possible without getting in the pits.
Right.
But then he's like, "Hey, I think I want to go in the pit." I'm like, "All right, man, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because
stand right here,
it was Limp
and I'll be
Bizkit.
watching you
Yeah,
from
you're
over
anchored,
here."
and then he knows where
Yeah,
you're at,
yeah.
so you're good.
Well, it was like because Limp Bizkit, I didn't plan on going in the pit. And
Well,
then
that
the
pit kind of
opened-
formed
it
right where
opened
we
right,
were.
like to like 5 steps to a right. I'm like, you know what?
Well, I think you sent me a video when Limp Bizkit was on there, and you could see that
Yeah.
it was kind of getting a little
Yeah, it got pretty crazy. Yeah.
right around where you were at.
And then Pantera, that pit, it was like so there was a pit in the front, pit on the right where we were, and then at the last song it was Walk. Both pits connected.
You sent me that,
and it was a
That was
ton.
awesome.
That was sweet.
It was a ton
I'm
of-
not a Pantera guy, but I'm like, wow,
That song
must
is
have been
awesome,
seeing
and the
that.
crowd was nuts.
It was like a 20-yard just like pit, like where straight line, and then like it would open up, and like Walk was.
Yeah, it was great.
I fell on my ass
that
a
was
couple
great
times
one.
during that.
What was the song where you were actually
Crowd surfing?
crowd
That was
surfing?
Bush.
You
That
nailed
was
it.
during
Bush.
Bush.
That
That
was
was
the Bush. Okay.
That was
we
in
touched on
between-
that. I know. Okay.
that
I
was
know we
in
did, but I
between
just want to.
Machine Head and Glycerine, I think. 'Cause
I think it was Glycerine.
I
And
think
that
it
was Friday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. All right. I'm getting my. This is
So
where
he
I
had
come in.
resisted crowd surfing the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Well, because
he's a bigger
I'm
guy.
6'2",
Big guy, too.
I'm a 6'2", 200 pound.
And actually,
guy.
nobody.
Yeah.
It's like the rule. Like if you're over 200 pounds, don't crowd surf, right?
Right,
So like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you're a chick.
I'm not.
you're
Well,
not, you're not a fan.
well, if you're over 200 pounds, you're a chick.
tall,
You shouldn't be
lanky,
crowd surfing
you're
either.
200 pounds,
Okay.
Might as well be a dude.
Yeah. Nah. But yeah, that was fun. My favorite
hilarious.
part of him moshing all weekend was the Friday night at Limp Bizkit. I don't know if you know that song,
Faith.
"Gotta Have Faith."
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
The
it's
old,
kind of like
George Michael song.
gotta have
George
faith.
Michael.
So it's like it's like a slow song.
Uh-huh.
So the pit's like they're just standing there, right?
I have no idea.
And he has no idea what's coming.
Oh,
And then the fucking just loosen it.
Yeah.
I was videoing him at the time because I'm like, this is gonna be funny, and he had no idea it was coming. It was awesome.
And I turn around and just like there's guys like so what Incarceration did is they hired like they have this crew of guys called like the pit crew, and they like make
Nice.
sure everyone like isn't a dumbass
Safe.
in the pit.
Right.
Everyone's
Yes.
okay.
No one gets hurt.
So like there's this big like 6'8", like I swear to God, like 400-pound Samoan guy, and like he just hits me, and like we have to talk about Lamb of God.
Yeah,
'cause
we
that-
will. We'll get there.
That one was insane, but
So that's funny how you mentioned we gotta have faith.
Yeah,
So it just hits you, right?
Oh, that's the.
So that's like the Smashing Pumpkins song "Silver Fire,"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and it gets to that point where it's super, super quiet.
Right. Yeah. It's like nice
And it
little
was-
song.
And right, it would be funny because we get people playing at a party and hit that part. I'm like,
Well,
turn
I
it up,
guess
I
it would
can't
be
hear
nice.
it. Turn it up, and all of a sudden they hit that. And it's just louder than fuck. And I'm like, oh my god, they're so
awesome.
pissed off. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, it's coming and no one else
Right,
does, and it's just
right.
awesome.
Yeah.
So Lamb of God. So I mentioned earlier. So we had the band Black Note Graffiti on season 1. It was episode 5. Remember, Neil?
Kinda.
Our first Zoom. It was like a Wednesday night. No idea what we're doing, but they were super cool. And actually, they're doing really well.
Good.
They were just in the studio. They
Yeah,
did a
Black
bunch
Note
of shows, and they're still going.
Yeah.
And but it was funny because the one guy's like, yeah, we're playing this festival in Grand Rapids, and Lamb of God's one of the bands. He goes, I got this funny story, he's like, and he starts going into it, and I know nothing about Lamb of God. Right?
Neither did I, for the record, before the.
And he's like, yeah, this band Lamb of God, they were playing a show in the Czech Republic, and like someone kept throwing stuff at the lead singer or whatever. And then he got pissed, so he jumped into the crowd, like feet first, into this person. Well, the person died. And then this lead singer of Lamb of God apparently spent like at least a year or 2 in like a Czech prison.
No way.
And like the U.S. government got involved to
Pardon
get him out. Yeah. And I remember me and Neil just kind of sitting here, and I'm like, this isn't a funny fucking story at all. And I'm looking, him on Zoom, and you almost like see it by the time he's done with it. He's like, he realized like, yeah, I guess it really wasn't funny. And like we had like this awkward move on to like something else, So
anyway, moving
I'm
on.
interested to hear about your Lamb of God story, and hopefully it's not as much of a downer.
Lamb of God played Sunday before Slipknot.
It was right after Bush.
So they were like...
So Bush, Lamb of God, and then Slipknot.
All on the same stage.
That's all on the main stage. And there was other people playing on the other stage.
Okay.
Which I don't remember.
It was the one
because
chick.
one of them was pretty good.
It was the one chick with the dress, the...
Whore?
Yeah,
That
Whore.
song?
It was that one.
Yeah.
They were pretty good, too.
I liked them a lot. But Lamb of God was probably the best set we saw all weekend.
Really?
It was like...
You talk about the energy.
Were you guys listen to him at all before that at all?
I hadn't.
I knew... I feel like I knew a lot of the bands. I didn't know a lot of the bands, but I knew a good amount.
They had a playlist on Spotify, like Inc. 2023 or whatever. So I listened to like 2 of their songs. So I knew a couple of them. Right, but
you're exposed to him a bit, but not enough to know it was going to be a
right.
set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, there was one point. I don't know.
Do you want me to?
What?
Do you want me to tell like from my point?
Yeah, because you were in the pit the whole
So,
time. This
like-
kid was crazy.
So like Bush, so like Soldier to Prevail was the day before, and I was like, this is as crazy as it's gonna get. Like that girl we said like passed out.
Yeah.
Like I got smushed. I fell on the ground a bunch. I was like, oh, Lamb of God. Like I knew 3 other songs, like Redneck, Memento Mori, and then Now You Got Something to Die For. Or I think that's it. What's going on now?
Walk With Me in Hell.
That one. But the pit opens and I like get scared because I'm like, there's no way. Because like that Samoan guy I was talking about, he's in the middle and like they do a wall of death, and that was just like.
Do you know what the Wall of Death is?
It's when
They basically part the sea and then
just
sprint
run
at each other.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So like
It's crazy.
you have a video I think, but I'm in the very front.
Yeah.
And I run right at the Samoan guy, and I get like knocked out, and I like run. I like.
Oh, it was wild.
I get knocked out.
That's insane.
And I have like a huge scar on my back from it.
He had just a tank top on and shorts, and like he was so
He's
sweaty.
like going to a World War I battle.
It's all
basically.
dusty because it's in the grass, right? So like, and
It's
there's
all
beer
over.
cans everywhere. This guy fell on the ground. He's got a cut on his back. He's got a scar.
I still have
from
a big
that.
scar on my back
Yeah.
from it.
So,
But just like when they there was this, I can't. It must have been. I don't remember what song it was, but he's like, before he starts playing it, he's like, I want one giant fucking circle
It
pit
was
right in the
Redneck. It was
middle.
Redneck.
And we were like right on the edge. So they started playing, and it must have been 50 feet wide.
Well, you have the video.
And people are sprinting
Wow.
around in circles, and I'm getting pushed in, and I'm like,
I don't want to be in
I don't want to be in there.
I got
No.
a bad
It's like
back.
my knees, my back. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Wow. That's definitely a young
Unreal.
And oh, by the way,
Sure.
behind me,
There's
there,
a girl
like 10
pit.
feet away, there was a girl pit. Which, like, I
Girl
don't know if you're familiar with festival girls and, like, what they wear,
Not a
but, like,
festival.
it was pretty entertaining.
Or what they don't wear.
Borderline
Yeah.
non wrestling.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, but
Wow.
I-
And he was in that big pit going
So
around.
the only crazy pit, like, I remember being in was actually Lollapalooza 92. And it was
Pine Knob?
Pine
Yeah.
Knob. And it ended up being in between the pavilion and the lawn.
The only place to do it.
It was for Ministry.
Yeah. Oh, Ministry's awesome.
And I had never listened to Ministry.
I like
all.
Ministry.
And oh my god, like I knew like one or two songs, you know. But then it was like while I was going on, and it was like you said, it was just that fucking energy.
There's
everyone's going, and then
a bunch of energy.
And I remember, I think it was Ice Cube led in the Ministry, led in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was like Ice Cube just was like got everyone going, everyone was hyped, and then Ministry came out and they just blew up.
That's sweet.
And then it was just like the whole place for Chili. And that was back when and you'll remember when they did their whole tour and they came out in like the fireman outfits, and then had the flames. That was the one in '92. That's what that was. So I understand the Red Hot Chili Pepper love.
We went back to the Chili Peppers.
I understand the Limp Bizkit love. I get it. And I mean, talking to you guys, it's like hearing that experience. That's like something like, man, I really think I could have fun going to that. I just don't know if I could survive that for 3 days. By the end of Sunday, what the hell did you feel?
The setup of the place. The setup of the place. There's like, there's the stage and there's like 100 yards of just grass, right, where people
can sit. You can sit.
And then there's a hill. There's like a little hill.
Almost like a refresh area.
Yeah. So like a lot of people just put blankets and sat on the hill all day. Yeah. Right?
All right.
So like in between sets, we'd go sit on the hill. They had, all these vendors serving. There was like whiskey vendors. Like it was crazy.
They had a Zen truck. The Monaco truck.
So it
they had the
like
fuck cancer truck. It's insane.
You guys would go back like time and time again.
Oh, we're gonna go back.
You're going back.
We we didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. Well, here's the thing. Talking about Chili Peppers. So Chili Peppers play on a Tuesday in Cuyahoga Falls, which is Cleveland.
It's Cleveland.
The Tuesday after Ink. So everyone's talking about like.
Oh, go.
Because they haven't announced. They haven't announced who's playing yet.
Oh, what? Oh, that'd be crazy.
So like everyone's talking like Chili Peppers might actually play at Ink. Which
do you know any of the ones that are playing?
No one's. They haven't announced
nothing. Yeah. Wow.
I feel like we could guess probably a couple.
Well, there's another festival in April or May in Ohio.
Yeah.
That they announced that set already. So a lot of those same people play it, but
gotcha.
It's not official yet. So we didn't buy the tickets yet. I'm trying to get people to come with us.
Well,
people watching.
How far is Mansfield?
3 hours.
From the about 3 hours from the Metro Detroit.
It was a really fine drive too.
It's like driving to Columbus. Yeah.
So you're going to Dayton.
Yep. Exactly.
Going to Jackson Center, Ohio.
Yeah, exactly.
What up, Jackson Center?
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. One other thing we talked about was Lumineers.
Yeah.
So that was your first time, right?
Yeah, I'd never seen them.
What did you think of them?
I really liked it. They were really good. And I got to stand on the rail with you guys, and that was fun. But
we hit the rail.
Yeah, because I brought my daughter and her friends, and like they totally ditched me before I even walked in the building.
Which is
really it's fine.
What you want. You want them to enjoy their experience without you. Which we were talking about that with our last guest, right? Where, I was at one. I will never forget. Me and my brother and my parents were in Caseville, Michigan, at my grandma's.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, there's this concert on Sunday at Pine Knob that we want to go to. And they were like, okay, well, on the way home from Grandma's Sunday, we'll just drop you off there. And you'll meet your friends, and then they'll drive you home. It's like 96.
Question mark.
Like, yeah, we got it. So like,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Well, all right, we'll meet you here, and we need to ride home. They're like, all right, we got you. And what did we do? We met on that same damn rail that we met you at the Lumineers.
Yep, that's right.
It's like
just the best spot
it's still
ever.
The same rail 30 years later.
Yeah.
I still can't believe I've never been there.
You will be soon.
Yeah.
You will be soon.
So we went to Lumineers.
Yeah. Who was the guy that opened up for Lumineers? You weren't in there yet, did you?
No.
You guys didn't watch him.
No, we pre-gamed right up until the end, pretty much for Lumineers. No, it was
because he was pretty good.
James was it James Bay?
Yes,
James Bay.
James Bay, yes.
James Bay.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, which I know a couple of his songs.
I recognize a couple of his songs.
And actually, John, my brother-in-law, who was actually the very first guest we had on Two Dudes. He
was
went
there
to
that night.
see James Bay before, but he was with us at the show. Fourth time I've seen the Lumineers, and You know, it was funny when me and Emily were going there. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, this is the 4th time since like 2016. And we went.
You weren't that big of a fan of them before, right?
No,
I feel like last time we talked
from
about
day
it.
one, I've really liked them. We
Yeah.
saw them 2016 at Meadowbrook, which was amazing. And then, you know, we were on the lawn,
Right.
but we were with my brother-in-law John, Emily, and then my daughter Elena. And right where we were standing was like this little mini stage. So we just hung out there.
Right.
And for like 4 songs, they were literally From Me to You playing.
That's awesome.
And they did Subterranean Homesick Blues by Bob Dylan, which was sweet. You know, like the best cover ever.
Yeah.
And then we saw them at Pine Knob, and we saw them at Little Caesars, which was the very last concert we saw before COVID hit. It was February of 2020.
Were they the headliners at Little Caesars?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And Mount Joy opened up for it.
Oh.
Oh, it was a sweet show.
That's what the concert. Pine Knob, Mount Joy opened up for.
Yeah.
No, that was at Little Caesars. The one at Pine Knob was Camp.
Camp.
CAAMP.
Fucking Camp.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
they have a couple of really cool songs, too.
Camp does. My bad.
So actually, it was we went to Meadowbrook, we went to LCA before COVID, like literally 2 weeks, 3 weeks before shit was shutting down, and then we went to see him at Pine Knob, and then the 4th time was this Pine Knob this last August.
Okay.
And you know, I'm like, you know what? After 4 times, I think I probably, you know, because but me,
They
there's
put
like
on a great show,
there's
man.
some shows I just want to
Absolutely.
go. They're a one-off, and then there's some I really like going, and I'm gonna hit you every single time. Pumpkins, Rusted Root,
Yeah.
Wilco, you know, everyone like that. And then I go to that damn show that night, and I'm like, "Where's number 5?"
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking
Yeah.
ready. I'm
Yeah.
primed. I mean. And the thing is, like, it's such a high energy, like, not just high energy, but positive energy show.
Yeah.
And the part that, and I'm usually not a huge fan of, like, everyone in the whole place, like, sings along.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's like 20,000 people or whatever, and they're singing along, and, you know, they came up into the crowd. I think you and Avery
Yeah.
both, like, touched the dude.
Yeah, we gave him a high five right in the middle of the aisle. It was wild.
And, like, usually that's not my thing, but, like, when it's, I don't know, it's just different. It kind of hits different with
The
that.
thing that I realized there was that I felt like was unique was the age range.
Yeah,
Like
that
there
too.
was
Everyone loves
people in their 60s, you
Oh,
know, and then
down
my
to, like,
daughter
right
and her
down to
friends
their
were
high
like
school
running
kids.
around having a great time. So like, and that's
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
They had everywhere.
yeah,
And
and it's not just like a female thing or like because
no.
you know, sometimes it's like that where like a lot of girls like them, but everyone
no,
likes
I-
it.
no,
Like
I
it
get
was
you.
cool. It was a good show.
Who
And,
doesn't
like
that? Like the Lumineers.
It's just a happy music, right? Like
It is,
Yeah.
and you know what? I mentioned it too. It's like a lot of their songs are like 2 to maybe 3.5 minutes.
Yeah,
So it's like
yep.
they rip through them, and
Yeah.
then just like you're going, and then it's like, holy crap, here's the next one.
right.
And that show that night, but I thought the coolest move was when they played Night Moves. Or
Oh
whatever,
yeah,
Bob
yeah,
Seger.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Working
Bob
on
was
the
cool.
night
There you go. There you go.
Boom, boom.
Sing it, Neil.
Trying to catch some bats on that I'm blue.
Come on in.
Here we go.
But no, like one is Bob Seger Away or whatever for Pine Knob. I thought it was such a
That was
super
cool.
classic.
That was cool. He even referenced that. I think. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
something about
Yeah,
it.
it was awesome.
That was cool.
It was awesome. And like I said, number 5, I'm sure we'll both be at.
Yeah, I'd go see him again.
So there was another one that, well, so the way it all happened was you were one going to Heartless Bastards no matter what. You were like ready to go.
Like before I came on the show.
No, just like in general. You were
Yeah.
ready to go.
Oh,
You
yeah,
liked
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I never heard of
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
And then, but we were also, me, you, and Neil were going to go to Porno for Pirates.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And then they canceled that. So then you're like, well, do you want me? Because you got the tickets. So you're
Right.
like, do you want me to just convert them into Heartless Bastards?
Right.
So you and Neil went to that.
Yep.
I could not go because I was blessed with my second grandchild
Oh,
on that same day. Thank you
congratulations.
very much.
Yeah.
But you guys did go. Heartless
Yes.
Bastards at Magic Bag. What was that like?
Well, I got, like you just kind of preluded to, or however you want to say that, I had never heard of the Heartless Bastards.
I had neither. To be honest.
Until we golfed this summer.
Until Shaq freaking said, hey, this band's pretty good. And we were golfing at the UD golf outing. And Shaq goes, dude, this band's badass. Listen to them. And I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, they're a very good band, you know. Lead singer is a chick.
So,
which is
it's
great.
like basically 100% her, or these are other
100% her.
Okay.
Yeah. And she jams too, by the way.
We're jamming to
Yeah,
it.
you guys sent me those videos. There's some really good stuff I saw.
And then that was in August, and I think a couple months later, Shaq goes, "Hey, Neil, do you want to go see the Heartless Bastards?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It's a Thursday night at the Magic Bag. I'm like, "Okay."
There was another John sitting on his couch after a couple drinks. I wasn't going to buy one ticket, so I bought two.
Yeah.
Well, number one, I didn't know they even toured anymore because they've been around a long time.
Really?
Yes, they've been around for
I don't
some
think
time.
they've toured for a while. And
That's
then number
funny
two,
because
it was at the Magic Bag in
The Magic
Ferndale.
Bag
So
was-
I'm like,
it's like 500
I'm going to go.
in Ferndale, Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because the guest we had on season 1, Paul Grasso, shows up. He's got a Heartless Bastard sweatshirt.
He had
on.
the shirt on here?
Yes.
Oh,
today.
I thought you were saying he wore it that night
No,
at the concert.
he came today in that shirt.
I was going to wear my Heartless Bastard hat.
He was at the show with you guys.
That's-
But, obviously, same thing with me and him. We were at so many shows.
He
we
was
never
one of the
actually went.
150 people in that little place. Like, that's the great thing about it, man.
We saw Mudhoney there.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
then this opening band, Hoover 3.
Yeah.
And check them out. They're out of L.A. Crazy sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't even pinpoint it because it's like all over the place.
Oh,
but
man.
we went.
We love Hoover 3.
Hoover 3 is great. We love them, but oh my God, Mudhoney. That collective show at the Magic Bag and just seeing.
It's such a cool scene.
It was me, Neil, and Kennedy went.
Mm-hmm.
And for both bands, we never even spoke a word to each other.
Really?
The only time I said a word was I gotta go to the bathroom. But that's how you know it's a good show.
Yeah. We were the same, I think.
Yeah,
And I
so
mentioned-
the Heartless Bastards was freaking amazing because the All Right Maybes opened up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which were badass.
Big fan of them.
And they're out of Chicago.
Out of
you said?
Chicago.
Oh, maybe
They sound
something.
like a pretty new band. Yep.
All right, cool.
And that was a fun show. I'm glad we went. Jammed out. You and I. It was just you and I.
Yeah.
Just
And we got to
you
sit
and
on the
I.
side.
Yeah, you got the little
We
seats
sat
on the
down.
side
Yeah.
of the Magic Bag.
Well, he spotted that early. He's like, last time I was here
Well,
for Mudhoney,
so-
people
For
were
Mudhoney.
sitting up there, so let's go over there. I'm like, all
So,
right.
you know what's funny about the Mudhoney show, right?
Yeah.
So I get there, merch line, Neil gets beers, Kennedy's going down to check shit out, right? By the time I get back from the merch line, you have the first level with the railing.
Yeah.
Then you have another level, another railing. Then you have the
Yeah.
main floor.
The little floor.
And they're all little.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
by
for
the time I'm
reference,
done,
for people that don't know, it's
It's
like
a
the size
five-
of this basement.
it's literally 500 seat.
Is it max 500? Probably.
It's about it.
Yeah.
I would say.
And so I'm done, and they're both standing on that first little railing, and I'm like, which was awesome because it's small.
Mm-hmm. That's
you're
a
so
good
close.
spot,
Doesn't matter,
yeah.
you know, people around you.
You're literally
Well,
probably
so days
15
later,
feet.
I'm talking to Kennedy, and I'm like, yeah, I thought we could have been a little closer though. Especially since we were the first 20 people in.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I was all the way, she was literally at the stage, touching the stage, looking at it and that. I'm at the merch, Neil's got his beers, one for me, of course.
Yeah.
And she comes back and she told me, this is what she told me, so I want to hear your story. She's like, looks at Neil, and Neil's like, I think I'm going to hang right here.
That sounds about right.
And Kenny's well, you want to get closer or something? I don't know if she even asked, because you're like, well, they're going to be moshing down there. Did that
Stay
happen?
safe.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have said that because,
Well,
it's a
but
hard,
no.
they could be mosh. I don't know.
You don't know. I will agree. You don't know.
Let's
It's a
just
little
stay
area.
back.
But then, looking hindsight, me and Ken, like I said, we're talking about this days later. I'm like, everyone there was 50. There was zero moshing.
If there was moshing, it was
no one
super
has
safe.
insurance. We can't afford a broken head or shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a better seat up
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was perfect, and it was funny. But I will say, when we go, the next one I wanted to mention, we actually have a couple coming up.
Yeah.
So we have Portugal the Man, February 16th, which is at the Royal Oak Music Theater, which is where I saw Ben Harper. Now, have you guys been there, the Royal Oak?
I have
I'm
never
assuming
been
you
there.
haven't. You're still
I was
really
supposed
young?
to go there.
For what?
Sampha. It's like an R&B artist.
Oh, okay.
Like kind of like Steve Lacy, if you know who that
Gotcha.
is. So like I was supposed to go there with some people in my pledge class, but
Now,
I didn't
that
want
was
to.
the other, it's before we get into the next shows we're going to. So you are at Michigan State.
Mhm.
What is the music scene like there? And
I mean, a lot of my friends don't listen to what I like, but like a lot of my friends listen to country, which is okay. But I listen to what he pretty much put me on when I was little. So, and I had a
You
lot
were
of
talking about that earlier.
so, which
And we
I would
don't
say-
we don't hate country.
no, actually,
But I
I'm
agree.
allowed to say it now because
I'm not
Christmas is past. I am going to my very first country show.
Are you?
Yeah.
Which I've been told it is more country light,
Oh, okay.
but Kane Brown
okay.
at LCA. So for Christmas, me and Emily bought my son-in-law Moose and our daughter Elena tickets, and
Nice.
we're going with them to on April 4th.
That'd be
So
my
it'll be the
birthday.
first one. I know I forget who's opening up, but for me, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time. I'm
Yeah.
with people that I love. It's going to be.
It'll be a good.
What I've heard is like a country show is like a whole different
Is it?
experience.
Well, because I'm going to 2 this summer. I'm seeing Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, nice.
and then
It's
that'll
all
be
like classic.
that'll be
Yeah.
like I
Where's
love
that one at?
That's at Pine Knob.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And then I'm seeing Zach Bryan at LCA, right? Or is that
Yeah.
Ford Field?
It's at LCA.
No, it's
You're
at Ford
welcome.
Field.
Oh, it is
It's
a
at
Ford Field.
so-
Okay,
Floor tickets for that one were
Yes.
nice.
not cheap.
So before we even get into what we got coming
cheap.
up, I want to talk to you because you just went to a couple of shows.
Oh yeah.
First of all, Al Green,
Al Green.
which
We were listening to him last night in the car on
which
the way home
one
from dinner.
What is it?
Yeah, God
is
bless
it
him.
Al Green on the Pulp
Love
Fiction
and
soundtrack?
happiness.
Yes.
Yep. So
Neil,
the
sing it.
Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
Yeah.
Love and happiness.
But so he is like 80 years old now. You
I think he's
saw
77.
77,
Yes.
and you saw him in
We were at the Fox.
Fox,
It was-
which Fox is amazing.
it sold me, right? But
But from what I
$250
hear,
for a ticket to Al Green at the Fox.
and from what I heard, he didn't even sing much. It lasted.
Dude,
very
he was on stage for literally 45 minutes. He came in late. They had some comedian that was up there like killing time beforehand. Like it was a last minute thing. You could tell this guy was just a total mess.
Didn't they grab the comedian from the state or from the
I don't know where he came from. It seemed like he came out of the crowd. He was just some dude. I know some jokes.
Hey, do we got a doctor here? And
I know
somebody
some
just shows up.
He's probably like an usher or something.
So then Al Green's crew. What? I was telling him.
Did they wheel him out?
No.
Okay, he
His-
walked at least.
There was like 50. He had like a 15-piece band on stage, like with between the backup singers,
Backup singers.
the drummers, the percussion or the brass section. Like it was a great show. He just didn't do anything. He fucking sat in a chair. Half the time he was handing out roses to the ladies in the front row while the crowd and the
singing
backup
the songs.
singers were singing. He'd like say, he'd like go love and happiness, and then everybody's like singing.
yeah.
And then he'd walk around, and then he sat down. I'm looking at Dante's parents, who his buddy Dante, who they went with. I looked at him. I go, he's not fucking singing.
That
They're
was
like, no, he's not.
that was
It's like a
another-
variety show.
Oh man, it was wild. But like, I told him last night. I said it was actually a good show, but like he just didn't.
Well,
Right.
good.
I mean, he's old.
And nothing.
Good for him.
Well, that's the thing. Like
He just
there's
needs the money, though. I guess.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Like
It's
you
kind of
have,
sad.
You
but-
have 80-year-old Rolling Stones,
Right,
Who
right.
are like out there just
Jamming.
grinding it.
the
and
same, right?
I mean, we all know, just people around us.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of 80.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I
will say he had the 3-piece suit on. He looked very tight. Like he was
now,
good. But
what is the damn song from Pulp Fiction? What is that called?
It's like his most famous one. It's
Yeah.
I can sing. I hear it in my head. Something together.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I know love and happiness.
It's Let's Stay Together.
Let's stay together.
Because it's like the opening scene to Pulp Fiction.
Yes,
It's like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It opens up
So-
with like the sound with the.
Was at least seeing that
That was good. Yeah,
that's how I kind of sometimes like with the stuff like shows you see is like, is there at least that one moment or that one killer tune that you say this was worth
I'd say
the
those
price
two
of
songs,
admission?
"Love and Happiness" and "Let's
And
Stay
then
Together."
Yeah.
Like
But
actually
the
then
crowd sang
overall-
so much of the song.
right.
I mean, it was still cool to see it. It was just weird.
Someone else who didn't have the crowd sing the song that you just went to was, what, Travis Scott?
Oh, yeah.
Which one, I think close to when you were going, you were almost trying to unload tickets.
I was. I texted you because I was going to ask you if your kids wanted to take my daughter and her friends. Because I bought these tickets, I don't know how long ago, because she wanted to go, my daughter. And
You bought 4.
Travis Scott, well, because originally it was like, I'm like, either you and one of your friends will take her and one of her friends, or
I
like
had
I'll
finals the
take
next day.
3 of her and 2 of her friends, whatever, right? So like, I'm like, she's not going on this one alone. She's only 16, right?
No, I got you.
They've been to other shows alone. But that one, I'm
Not
like,
Travis
no.
Scott at LCA.
In downtown.
Yeah,
You
the
get
whole
turned
thing,
around.
right? And her parking and driving. Gee, way to go.
Yeah.
Hitting around.
You'll get better.
bueno.
You'll get better.
2 of them.
Will it?
You'll get better. It does.
Good thing she's not going to listen to this. But anyway, so like, yeah, last minute, I'm like, I really don't want to. And it was like on a Tuesday.
Right.
And
12-12.
She danced the next night at LCA at a Pistons game. So like, I was at LCA 2 nights in a row. I'm like, I don't want to do this. But,
Not for a basketball or hockey game.
so anyway, we went. And what's his name? Tizo Touchdown?
Yeah, Tizo
This
Touchdown.
fucking guy.
That was so funny because you're at the show and you sent us the video. Tizo touchdown. I'm like, why the fuck does that name even sound familiar? And then I put it together. Like, holy shit! He was like the first opener for Tyler the Creator. I'm like, holy shit! I saw Tizo touchdown.
His whole shtick was like, he's been on songs of famous people. Like, that's his thing, right? So like he'd go like, he'd say their initial or something and go 1, 2, 3, and then the crowd would say like the name of whoever it was, and I had no fucking idea. And then he'd sing like 10 seconds of the song and then move on to the next one. And I'm like, I asked the kid next to me, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy? Why is he singing into a bouquet of flowers? And why is he wearing that?
Like the shoulder pads.
Oh my
like the,
God! He was like a cartoon character.
That's hilarious. I did see.
But it was
actually,
good.
It
Entertaining.
was entertaining.
Nonetheless.
Well, and I saw Tizo touchdown is actually coming to Detroit in like
He
March.
is.
Yeah.
I texted
like
you guys.
St. Andrews or
yeah,
place like
I'm
that,
like,
or
we should go.
Majestic or
Yeah,
something,
yeah. I'm like, we should go see him.
Probably
So
not
then
go.
you saw the Travis Scott.
So
How
then
was
Travis
that?
Scott came on. Did you see the stage at that
Yeah,
place?
that was pretty.
Dude, it was
It
like, I
looked
don't know if it was
took
like
up
a
almost the whole
snake.
main floor.
It was the entire floor, and it was like this big curving, like, looked like a snake on the floor or whatever. And then he
You
had
know
these
what?
little heads all over the place, which I don't know what the hell
But
that
I
was
do
about.
like how even like Tyler did how they incorporate the whole floor
Yeah.
so that people
moved
in
all
like,
around.
who are kind of shit seats
Yeah.
end up getting a good experience.
like
Yeah.
there's like no bad seat in that place.
No, like
Yeah, when you-
Greta Van Fleet, right?
Yeah.
So stage, we were like in the corner, like straight back, right? Which is still great.
Yeah.
But then they came and sang like 4 songs on like this little stage, which was like from here to the wall,
Yeah.
which was awesome, you
Yeah.
know? And the first time I remember seeing that, because I mean, for a million years, it was always the same layout. Stage, floor,
Right.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It was the Beastie Boys.
Oh.
When I think it was Hello Nasty tour, and they had the round stage right in the middle of the floor of the Palace. back
Yeah,
then.
of course, yeah.
And I remember my seats were like first row on the boards at like mid ice.
Oh, that's bad.
So like for me, I'm like, holy crap! This ended up being like the best thing ever. And the other one, do you remember Jane's Addiction?
Jane's Addiction, yeah.
And Palace, where they
they-
had the
well,
main
they-
setup, and then they came over to this backstage.
Right.
And then they went and switched.
And they did like 4 songs,
Yeah.
and they did Jane Says Out There with the
Yeah.
little drums and everything. It's, oh my god!
But it's like you said about Tyler, the Creator. Like, I didn't know a single fucking
No.
song. But the crowd singing every word.
Oh, it
like,
just-
it was an... I
It
said
had
it
to
was
be
an
loud as
awesome
hell.
show. It was
Right.
loud as hell.
And you didn't even know him.
Well,
I didn't know him at all.
That's one thing about Travis. Like, what got him on like the scene to get bigger, get like his cult following is like how crazy his shows are. Like, he had that festival that like he put on Astroworld.
Astroworld.
The festival, and, like
and all that.
the fans are so crazy. Like 3 kids died.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
why I didn't want her going by herself initially. But
100%.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, you don't ever want to see that happen, but it's also not the first time it's ever happened. I mean, years ago, Pearl Jam had like 5 or 6 people die at one of their shows. I mean, The Who back in the day. I mean,
incarceration.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's something that's happened over time, but it's good to see that like nowadays they try to get in front of it a little better.
Well, like,
you know, because up there you can recognize that it's going south before it really does.
Right.
You know. So.
Well, like incarceration, like they had that pit crew, so like. Say if someone does like, fall or something, they get carried out right to the front.
Right.
But not only that, they kept telling us drink water, right? Because you're outside for like
8 hours,
12 hours, 10 hours a day.
So when
it was in middle of July. It was hot as hell.
That's why I didn't remember the time frame of it. Okay, yeah, that's hotter than hell.
And like, I wasn't, but a lot of people are moshing from pit, you know, stage to stage.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It doesn't stop, basically all day.
And the thing is, if you're drinking beer and shit, I mean, that's just dehydrating you even more.
Like, I remember, like, that Sunday, because I knew it was, like, Lamb of God, then Slipknot, I'm like, I'm not drinking because, like,
well,
I'm going to be dead.
Plus, we had to drive.
So, and you needed
Jon Schack.
You needed water, Nathan.
True.
Jon Schack of our TDaKT. Before we move on, coming up, we have to dig into the past just slightly into September.
Oh, yeah.
Where me and Neil, it was September 6th? It was the first time we took the show on the road.
I know, you guys did a great job.
We did a tailgate episode from Pine Knob for the Smashing Pumpkins Interpol show. Who else was up there? Was it just Interpol? Who knows? Royal Blood. Royal Blood, Interpol, Smashing Pumpkins.
Is it true you sold a t-shirt that day? I'm not sure.
We did not sell one. No? We handed one off to a gentleman named Dallas.
Yeah.
He was inquiring about it. He asked about it. I said, you know what, Dallas, you were on the show. Here's a t-shirt.
I remember listening to
that. Was that the guy who like interrupted
Thanks
you?
Thanks a lot, Dallas.
No.
I can't buy a pack of cigarettes now.
But no, that was super fun, Neil. I can't, and we'll talk about it.
That was pretty cool how you pulled people and just like got them.
So it was funny because we got there early, and we parked in the front part of the Pine Knob lot, right? And there was not many cars there.
Yeah. That's a good spot.
The trunk. We get the table set up. We have the little coffee little TV tray with the computer. And
weren't the kids sleeping in the car or something?
They weren't sleeping, but they were hanging out back there. And I even asked them, like, "Hey, you guys want to be on the gun?" Both already been on the gun show.
Yeah.
And then I'm going through and editing it. I look, and at one point they're making faces and shit.
You can see them back there. Yeah. That's hilarious.
But that was actually Kennedy's second pumpkin show. We went to the one in November with Jane's Addiction.
Oh, that's right, yep.
But that was Avery's first pumpkin show.
Okay.
And we are all going to Comerica September 4th, where it's Green Day, Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Linders.
That'd be cool.
I feel like I do need to make it up.
And I've never seen Green Day. And you know what? A lot of people are love or hate with Green Day.
I love Green Day.
I like Green Day.
I have zero problems with Green Day. I know probably every single song they're going to fucking play.
I'm a big fan.
And you know what? It's a 3-piece band that just really fucking rocks.
You know, we talk about like how like there was that split from like where you went 90s. To Wilco.
Right. Yeah.
Like Green Day was like the beginning of that for me. I feel like they were one of
it was
those guys.
Like 90. Early 94 was when Dookie came out. Because that's another 30th anniversary. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
All these bands that we
Green
loved
Day.
back in like high school and college, they're now coming out with these 30th anniversary tours.
Let's do it.
Because that's a Green Day. It's 30th anniversary of Dookie and 20th anniversary of American Idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Both good. Better freaking...
And then you have the Pumpkins opening up for them, which I'm interested to see because their lineup is totally changed now.
Yes.
So
see, he just did it again. Now I'm gonna go home and buy tickets.
Well,
they're probably not sold out. Are they sold out now? I don't know. Probably
not. It's Comerica. But no, so Smashing Pumpkins for the last 17 years has had Jeff Schrader in the band, and then he just announced he's out.
Yeah.
So right now it's Billy Corgan, James Eha, Jimmy Chamberlain on drums, and then Jack Bates on bass. It's back to 4 people.
Okay.
with Katie Cole, who does kind of background vocals, keyboards on some songs. So I'm going to be interested to see, is that going to be the lineup in September?
Yeah.
Or are they going to fold in a new guitar player? Because, I mean, if they don't fold in a new guitar player, we're back to like early to mid 90s Pumpkins.
Wow.
4 main people, guitar, bass, drums, and to me it doesn't get... So, now that I'm on Facebook, I follow these groups, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 90s grunge and alternative and all these other ones, whatever. And like I got to throw it out there, the amount of love that I see for Darcy, for the Smashing Pumpkins as a bass
Pumpkins,
player,
yeah.
which she never played on the albums.
Yeah.
She was serviceable in concert. I saw him like a half dozen times in that lineup. It was fucking great. And I'm going to tell you what, you know what's a lot better? Is seeing an actual musician on bass playing those same fucking songs.
Yeah.
Which is Jack Bates. He's the son of the dude that was the bass player in New Order.
Oh, okay.
And something else. Peter Hook and the Light.
Oh.
That's his son, dude. And the guy fucking kills it. And he's also a Man United fan.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
He's a Manchester.
There's a lot of wins going on for this guy.
So, but
Too
no.
bad Man United sucks.
This guy.
Hey, fuck Sting.
I've always been more Man United than Man City.
Yeah, fuck City.
But
I'm Liverpool, then City, then
I
even Chelsea.
Well, you cheer for the Yankees too? Jesus
I don't even know
Christ.
who the Yankees are.
He used to love the Wings.
Yeah, when they were good.
All right.
Liverpool is way better.
So,
About a bottle.
but no, that pumpkin show, dude. So we're doing the tailgate party.
Yeah.
We met up with Charlie and his wife,
Cynthia.
Sea-Dog, Cynthia, and their friend Elena.
Yeah, Elena.
And then we had some randoms.
Elena was good on the show.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. She's another one like you guys. It was like right from the start. She was like all in.
Yeah, she was like, I want to do this. That's
Loves
cool.
it.
And so that was super fun. But you were supposed to
I was
meet us
supposed to
there,
be there,
and
yeah.
your fucking back got in the way.
That was the
this
second
time.
time my back. Yep.
This time, though, it knocked you out. You couldn't go.
Yeah.
Knocked both of us out this time.
Yeah.
Right, well, you were supposed
Because
to
he was
go.
supposed to come with me.
Right.
And he was at state already. He was going to drive and meet me there.
I got you.
And then he was going to go alone. And I'm just like, I can't do it.
If you would have went alone, and moving forward,
came.
you'll always have us to at least...
Well, the other thing was the
Yeah.
rain. And I'm like, my back's fucked.
The fucking rain
I
was
don't want to
coming.
walk and the rain's coming. So, like, if I have to run out of there, it's not going to happen.
No, and
So,
that
like-
was the thing. Is that's what I was going to say. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. That
And
was
actually,
that
we
was
had to
actually great
early
pumpkin
because-
show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen him so many times. That was like our third time in like 18 months we actually saw him. But that was the first time they played Pine Knobs and Lollapalooza in 94.
That's wild.
Almost 30 years. And I'll never forget that day he said, I remember when it was cool to be from Detroit. And like everyone was like, boo, you suck.
Yeah.
And like everyone, there was a lot of, I remember 94 Lollapalooza, a lot of people had a lot of bad things to say about the Pumpkins. But Nirvana was supposed to be the headline.
Yes.
And the band that played right before the headliner was the fucking Beastie Boys.
Oh, yeah.
So you had
What a great
like,
lineup, dude.
That is wow.
oh, you had Pumpkins, Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest, George Clinton, Funkadelic, and I think maybe the Breeders might have been there. So, but I mean, it was a great lineup. But it was like you went from the Beastie Boys, and a lot of people are like, "Well, fuck it, we're out of here."
Yeah.
So like the Pumpkins are playing, and like they almost should have flopped it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
once Nirvana was out because
Right.
Cobain died, they should have moved Beasties into the headliner and then Pumpkins into the leader, and I think it would have worked better. Because back then too, that was when they were like heavy Gish and Siamese Dream, so there's still like a lot of heavy like feedback and shit.
Yeah.
Which people are like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is awesome!
Right,
you know,
right.
10-minute version of Drown and you know,
Yeah,
and all that shit. But a lot of people didn't like that back
Yeah.
then, you know.
Bullshit.
Wild.
Was that before like Melancholy like released?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I like that
94 would
one.
have been right because Melancholy, I want to say, was around 95.
Okay.
So Lollapalooza for them was 94. And for me, I actually saw them 4 times. I think it was twice at Lollapalooza, 94. Before that was at Breslin.
Okay.
Best show ever.
Did they ever do concerts at Breslin anymore?
They
And-
don't.
They don't.
And then they did, before that, it was November of my freshman year at UAD. So after UAD
Oh, yeah.
soccer was done, they played State Fairgrounds in Detroit.
Oh,
So that was in
that place.
probably November, December, and they just released Siamese Dream in July.
Wow.
So like I saw 4 shows after that release, which was amazing. And then I saw obviously the Melancholy tour, and I saw him right before. Remember when the keyboardist died?
Oh yeah.
That was like 6 shows or something before he died. I saw him at the Fillmore. The Pumpkins, when Melancholy came out, played the Fillmore, which is like 2,200 people.
Yeah.
Like, that blew my mind.
That's
like,
crazy.
They should have been, like, in a huge place, but they were still playing those smaller...
It wasn't uncommon back then.
No, it wasn't.
No, you're right.
No, and because I think they like playing those places, too, because the sound and everything about it is just... I mean,
it's got to be a good experience
it's great
for them.
It's still made money.
Which brings me to... One... I mentioned, so yeah, September 4th, check it out. You still have to see the
I'm going to look into it, yeah.
100%.
I still haven't seen them, yeah.
If you are ever like, I like their songs, I've never seen them, go see them.
Yeah.
You know.
I love them.
Well, I tried that once.
No, I know. And we'll figure it out. But that brings me to like those bigger bands that are playing smaller ones. So we got, in February, coming up a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
But first, February 16th, we have Portugal the Man at Royal Oak Music Theater.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited about that.
Yeah,
because we have main floor. And I mean, Royal Oak, the way it's set up, you have the balcony, which maybe however many people, but you don't even recognize that. So when you're on main floor, you're like, it feels like a magic bag.
Oh, really?
It's so small.
It's that small.
And then...
Yeah, I haven't been there before.
Really?
Well,
that's exciting.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's cool. And you know what? The one thing that... I've never been a huge Portugal the Man fan, to be honest.
I didn't even know who the fuck they were when you
He
texted
knows
me.
one song, right?
Well, no.
And then I played their top song. I'm like, I've heard that song.
I know a few songs.
Yeah.
That's
they have at least 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah, they do.
That
I feel it still, and whatever.
No,
I like
something
about Moment. Yeah, Vanilla Porter, take it out.
Oh, Founders, might as well.
And,
Just found it.
But the one thing is, one of their guitarists is actually in a wheelchair.
What?
Yeah, he apparently was like sitting against a wall at one point, like playing the guitar, just hanging out, and the fucking wall fell over.
No way!
Broke his back.
This was at a show or something?
Just hanging out.
Oh,
and
shit.
Broke his back, and now he's in a wheelchair, but he still is able to play guitar and everything. So it must be like a lower injury.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, holy shit, that is one absolutely amazing.
That's wild.
You know, but I'm super excited about that. Just it's main floor, it's Royal Oak.
Yeah.
It's a super fun night.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a Friday night. It's Friday night.
It's not a Tuesday. It's not a Tuesday.
It's you know.
That sad story reminds me of that drummer that only had one arm.
Oh, from
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Yeah.
The accident in the one arm.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But at least they persevered. And
Do you know what? One time he got stuck in a tree. You know how they got him out? They waved to him. It was very efficient.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, it's that time to wrap it up.
Dad jokes.
But no, I mean, this is where I hate to say it, but this sounds like they're close. 11 days later.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We're going downtown Detroit to the Fillmore to check out Porno for Pyros.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I am so
Porno for Pyros.
I am so fucking excited.
I am so excited for that one too.
I've never seen Porno for Pyros.
Yeah.
I love Jane's Addiction. You know, to be honest, I almost forget about Porno for Pyros.
Yeah.
But like you listen to their old albums, like holy crap, it's great.
They were awesome.
They got some new material out. We actually played it leading in.
Agua. That's a good song. I like it.
No, like I said, it's Perry Farrell. It's going to be Peter DiStefano on guitar. You got Stephen Perkins on drum, and Mike Watt now is going to be on bass, which
that's
is
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
And we got main floor for that, so we're definitely going to get there early. My main goal is to get, whether it's a picture or video of me and Perry together, of me drinking out of his wine bottle. That is my goal. I'm not going to risk getting thrown out for it. But I'm going to continue to market that.
Is he still drinking like we used to?
Me and Kennedy.
That's like me saying, am I still drinking?
Because you saw him at James Addiction.
So James Addiction opened.
Well, you saw that video on Facebook of that Agua song, right?
Yeah.
He looks like an old guy now.
Dude, he is actually like 60 or 62 years old now. Like because if you think about it, like Jane's Addiction was one of the like them and even
they were in the
Chili
80s,
Peppers.
dude. Yeah,
Chili
super
Peppers
skinny.
like late 80s.
Yeah,
just like and they all came out kind of that same time, same area.
Yeah,
and he's an older dude for sure. But we saw, so me and Kennedy was a her, went to LCA and was Jane's Addiction open up for the Pumpkins.
Oh yeah,
and we were right 6th row side stage, and Jane's played 10 songs. And like we watched the set list going in them and Pumpkins, right? Just to get a feel.
yeah,
I don't listen on the way there, but I'm gonna what are they playing?
Yeah.
And we check is it the same set?
yeah.
So Jane's Addiction has been the same 10 songs
The whole tour.
Ain't No Right,
Yeah,
right? Is one of their that's Kevin's
Go-tos.
favorite song,
Yeah.
and they show up in Detroit. And the one thing I do like about Perry is he has like his little lead-ins to every song. He's like, I remember there was one time, when we played Detroit, that little place called St. Andrews.
Yeah.
And then he went into Jane Says because they mentioned St. Andrews in the
right.
song, right? So about 6, 7 songs in, he's like, you know what? The last time we played this song was almost 20 years ago in Detroit or whatever, blah, 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 called Trip Away. And it's like off their first album.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I like that song. I'm like,
Yeah.
pumped. Well, that was the one they played instead of Ain't No Right. It's like Ken was all pissed off. Well, but then the whole time he's just chugging his wine. And I mean, Perry Farrell, from day one, you know this too, from when we saw him in the early 2000s, like, he sings the songs, but he don't necessarily sing them the way they're sung on the fucking record.
Oh, I know. Kennedy said that on the podcast. Yeah,
Like, it kind of, it's different.
Yeah.
Like different even like timing on it.
It's like
everything is like, oh,
It's because he's drunk, Cal.
yes, it's because he's always drunk.
It's always a different experience.
Yep.
So to answer your question, yes, I believe. Kenny's like, would you even want to drink out of that? I'm like,
line up.
What could go wrong?
Charge me. I don't care.
$50.
But no, I'm really looking forward to that one. I was really nervous because
I'm super excited about
when
that.
they canceled that in October, I'm like, shit, it might never even happen.
You texted me. I was like, that's
I was
bullshit.
so pissed off. That was like
But they had an announcement
window,
that
like
said-
within 2 weeks, where I had Pearl Jam canceled, Pumpkins ended
Yeah,
early,
yeah.
and then Porno for Pounds. I'm like, motherfucker, what else could go wrong?
But they said that they were still finishing up their album or whatever. So, like, there was an explanation.
And it was probably ticket sales
Yeah.
issues. I think
Yeah.
the bass player was like, I don't know if I want to tour. Let's
Yeah.
go Mike Watson. And
Okay.
then they relaunched it as the farewell tour. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm
perfect.
all in.
Yeah,
Let's go for
I'm
it.
super excited. That'll be great.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. The other one, which really isn't that far along from the end of February, is May 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Santa? Santa?
Sesanta.
We don't know, but what we do know is it's a perfect circle.
Yes.
Pussifer and Primus.
It's Maynard's fucking birthday.
It's Maynard's
Okay.
fucking 60th
It's his
birthday.
That's all that
His
matters.
birthday tour.
It's
And
Maynard's
that's why
birthday.
Santa is like 60th birthday. Or
Oh, it's
some
fucking
shit, I
great.
think. But it's so not Tool, but it's Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and then Primus.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen is at some point, all of them are just going to be on the stage together, just like jamming out. So
That's the best
And
part about it. I can't even imagine what it's going to look
I
like.
can't imagine what it's going to be
or
like.
what it's going to
I-
sound like. Or what they're going to play.
I know a little bit of Perfect Circle. I know zero of
gonna be-
Pussifer.
Have you listened to Pussifer?
I've
never heard of them before.
I haven't even got to it yet because I've been
No.
busy.
I
as
listened
fucking
to
sick.
Maynard's podcast with Jim Rome.
Okay.
Or not Jim Rome, fucking Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
And he talked about Pussifer in there.
We talked about his wine.
Well, he talked about that too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's all. Dude,
He's a weird
You know
guy.
what? He's got connections to Michigan.
he does.
'Cause I
He's
thought-
from Michigan.
I follow him on Facebook and Instagram, and then he had all these Christmas pictures somewhere in Michigan.
Really?
And I think kind of more in the outskirts. Of
Yeah,
north or
yeah,
something,
yeah. I feel
but,
like he's from up north somewhere.
Gosh darn it, that could be another 30-year freaking thing.
No, but listen to those songs. Pussifer is like
No, I'm
they're
super excited.
really
like
good.
I said, I know.
And it's
Perfect
him,
Circle.
and then, like his son is in the band,
They have
and then like they have rotating members or something. Like
And
solid.
Fucking Primus.
I love.
The last time I saw Primus was with you.
Let's go.
That's right.
Yep.
Last time I remember Primus was Lollapalooza '93.
That's usually what happens when you're with me.
I don't remember shit from that show. I remember saying I remember
Well,
the
fuck, now
Primus.
I thought we saw it in Ann Arbor. You told me it was in Detroit. I'm like, fuck. Good thing
I thought it was
I
Ann Arbor too, but then I remember I was looking around.
Yeah.
Shit, had there been this one, I'm like, that was Detroit? And
I swear to God it was Ann Arbor.
I think it was State Theater Detroit.
It was State Theater.
And it was Ann Arbor, me and you,
Yeah.
with Oysterhead, where it was...
Oysterhead.
Les Claypool, Anastasia, and...
Oysterhead is awesome.
Oh my God, that was sweet. We saw them in Ann Arbor.
And the drummer from the Police, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See? Police, Neil?
Absolute best performer from the
Fuck Sting, though.
Fuck that guy. And his tantric sex.
Yep. Fucking guy.
All right, so what? So the only other thing besides that, I know me is Pumpkins Green Day. I think you guys need to definitely check that out.
Yep.
I think that's one of those shows where even if you get the cheapest ticket just to be in the building, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like
I gotta see him.
Kind of like when I went to Guns N' Roses. I know you were there too, but me and Poe, like third level side stage, I'm like shit seats, but you're there.
Yeah.
You know, and in the end,
because Green Day's there too. You had me at Green Day.
Like I said,
I'm not the biggest Pumpkins guy, but like
that's all because that's like what I remember from like growing up is
I just
you would play the
and that's the thing is
I don't know
Pumpkins
why
aren't for everyone.
They just
I mean I see
and
that
it's not
too
like
on these little
it's not
groups.
that I don't like them. It's just I never listened to them. Like I don't know why. I don't know.
No, and
I was big Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Nirvana, obviously.
Well, and that was the thing is because you had the Seattle sound and Pumpkins never fit into that.
No.
That's what Billy Corgan always got pissed about, was being lumped into the grunge.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then he always was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
You know, which doesn't help your cause.
Maybe that was part of it
fan.
for me.
No, that was a big part of it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and then they found out that, you know, he played all the bass tracks on the albums and played James E.L.'s guitar tracks on the albums. Like, why is this guy a dick?
Yeah.
But you know who else does that shit though? Dave Grohl.
Does he? Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
He does that for a lot of the
Foo
Fighters stuff.
Yeah.
Which, in the end, they're like, it's the way that they see it.
They're not being cocky, though.
Right. They look at it the way they're seeing it. It's easier to lay it down this way. They're trying to teach this person, and then they learn it from
It's like a professional athlete trying to coach, right?
Right.
You can't expect somebody to do
and I think,
the way
but
you
I think
did
that
it.
was a lot of it, and that was the one thing I noticed when we saw the Pumpkins in May of '22 in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
His whole demeanor changed.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, you know, after 31 years, I realized that people don't give a fuck what I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, and like had his kid out there dancing for a song. Good. You know, and just it was more just like happy to be here.
Right.
You know, happy you're here to watch us.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
which was cool.
Good.
Yeah.
And then that venue was like 5,000 people outdoors. In
That's
Columbus.
Is that the
Kemba?
Kemba.
That's
where I saw Tame Impala.
Oh, is that where? Oh,
that
shit! I actually saw that show. Yeah. I saw that show for Kemba Love. I'm like, man, that would be cool to go see there. Isn't that place awesome?
That place is awesome.
So you saw it when it was an outdoor?
Yes, and it was pouring rain that night.
Oh, really?
It was really cool.
So in the wintertime, they use that same stage, but they drop a wall down, and then it's like a 2,000-seat theater on the inside.
Sweet.
So they use it indoor, outdoor throughout the year. And it used to be called like Promo West and all
Chili
that shit.
Peppers going there this summer.
In what?
That place? Yeah.
At Kemba Live.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're playing all outdoor tour.
If they are playing Kemba Live,
but they're not coming to Pine Knob.
If they are playing Kemba Live, I will go with you in 1 second.
Wow.
That place is sweet.
Because, like I said, now
that ticket might be a pricey price.
You figure Pine Knob is what, about 15,000? Mm-hmm. Meadowbrook's about 7,500, right? Kemba Live.
It's smaller.
Maybe 5,000.
And
it's like every single ticket is just general admission.
Like it's every.
I know.
When we went for Pumpkins, I was like front row center for like a song just to get up there, you know. But then we went back up and like we were in the very back row, you know, just standing on a railing, but you could still see like
I'll have to look again. I know they're playing 3 shows in Ohio. Cincinnati, Cuyahoga Falls, and
I thought that it wasn't
the other. Because it might not be.
I remember I asked you. I'm like, oh, are they
Cincinnati? They're probably doing Riverbend.
Yes,
which is actually in
that was the one I was looking to do.
That's where I saw Fish by myself.
I figured that was it. Yeah,
That was a cool. It's like a pine knot.
Yeah.
It's like and then I saw the other ones shortly after Garcia died. When the other ones, the Grateful Dead guys, toured for the first time after he died, and the opener at Riverbend for them was Rusted Root.
Oh, no way.
So I went and saw Rusted Root, saw the other ones, which I never saw, Grateful Dead with Jerry, so it was kind of like, I got a flavor, but you didn't experience.
Not the whole
you didn't get the whole experience.
Yeah, right.
But then seeing Fish at Riverbend by myself was like, I said this earlier, going by yourself is a whole different experience. Because you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like going in the Fish, like I park and then you just walk around, and it's almost like a village. These people selling fucking grilled cheese and breakfasts and shit. Drugs.
Let's go.
And you're having a great time. But, that's crazy. So, I think we'll probably definitely have more shows. Coming up that we'll see together. But
did you end up finding a show at Freedom Hill? That was the one thing I was going to ask you. Did you
to go see?
Yeah, that's one thing I still want to get in this year.
So I haven't.
What show?
Any show, something at Freedom Hill.
Where's that at?
It's in Macomb or
far away.
Sterling Heights.
Okay.
Sterling Heights.
16 Mile, I believe.
Isn't that where Sarah McLachlan's playing? You posted that
I think
on
so.
Facebook.
Yes. Hold your dog special close. She's coming to town. Actually, but you know what? Like that'd be cool to see. That's another one of those 30th anniversary of that CD. Like, I went and saw Liz Fair at Masonic. I went by myself.
Yeah.
But it was
scary. What?
Making fun of me for Liz Fair?
Yes. Yeah.
The whole time we were at Heartless Bastards, he's like, well, fucking Callan, his Liz Fair videos.
Callan's Liz Fair videos.
His fucking band's
so, you know
better
what?
than Liz Fair.
Funny because we were talking, though, like, that was, like, it brings me back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was, like, graduating high school.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it.
And I asked the last guest that we had on was like, do you remember like when they would play an album all the way through where this is pretty cool, which that was because Liz Fair, that's all I knew. I knew that album.
Yeah.
So she played all that, and then she played like 5 or 6 after.
That you never.
Oh shit! I know 4 of those.
Oh,
because,
okay.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
You didn't know 4.
And those are all the same videos I played, dude, that you probably didn't even fucking like or share.
Well,
you didn't share them.
How about scare yourself?
But no, so I think like, that Sarah McLachlan probably would be a super cool show.
Yeah.
But it'd also be super laid back. So
yeah,
I had a hard time sitting through a full Jack Johnson show.
It would be a long.
You know what
show.
I mean? Like
I like a couple of her songs. If I'm in the car, I listen to songs, but like not
the whole concert would be
an hour and a half.
To be honest,
of her.
dude, I'm not going.
Yeah. I want to find a reason to go to Freedom Hill, though. That's what I'm looking for.
No, I do, too. And the one that I'm kind of... Now that I am going to more, damn, I wish I would have went to that one. I think it was Nathaniel Rateliff was at Freedom Hill last summer. But that would have been a sweet show.
Wasn't Counting Crows there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which I've never been a huge Counting Crows, but you know what?
I know Neil
all I've ever heard is they put on a good show.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be a fun one to see.
They have some songs that...
And like even Nathaniel Rateliff, I'm not a huge fan, but it's like I know probably 3/4 of the songs they're going to play.
Sure.
You know. But yeah, I want to get to Freedom Hill for sure. I still want to get to the main Masonic Temple at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Because Liz Fair apparently was at the cathedral.
Oh, really?
I didn't understand that until I met Paul Grasso. In between the shows, he's like...
He saw my post, he's temple?
Like, they have like the Masonic Temple.
Is that the one that's by the LCA?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the Masonic Temple, which is like the bigger venue, and then they have the Cathedral Theater at the Masonic, which is smaller, which is where Liz Fair played.
No way.
Which I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
And then Paul's like, yeah, he saw all my posts. He's like, hey, I'm finally at the Masonic. He's like, dude, you have to understand, you're actually at the Cathedral. I'm like, all right. Well, you know what? I've also been marketing fucking January 3rd, Tuesday, for the first episode. And then I looked like 2 days ago, I'm like, motherfuckers, January 2nd is Tuesday, so... Oh, well. No, but we'll release it Tuesday. Like we always do. Those people late to the game, you should have kept up with the media.
Right, let's go.
100%.
Mother effers.
All right. So, one Jon Schack super awesome having you back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm super honored to be the first guy to be on here twice.
Right, you're the fucking first two-timer, dude. We should have had a jacket for you.
Yeah, I need a special shirt or
hoodie or something.
A jacket.
Absolutely.
What do you walk out with a 2 dozen killer jacket?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. We will be seeing these guys in a matter of 5 months.
5 months.
Dude, that could be a cold-ass show.
I can't wait.
I'm super.
He'll be there.
Good. Yeah. All right, first one together, dude. Awesome. I'm super excited we have seats.
Yeah.
I haven't had seats
he wanted
at Pine
seats.
Knob.
I've never had seats at Pine Knob.
And I'm like, it could be cold
That's
as
not
shit.
true. Once.
If we need to bundle up and shit,
Yeah.
it'll be good. But no, I'm super glad you guys are on. Shaq, I'm glad you're
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yep.
Nate,
Thanks,
good to
Nathan.
finally
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan.
And looking forward to going to shows with you. And, I really appreciate both you guys' support. You've been there from day one. Everyone else, check us out. YouTube channel if you want to actually watch our ugly mugs. Spotify, everything else.
Yep.
Download
2 dudes, man.
wherever you get them.
2 dudes.
Neil, I fucking love that we're still doing it. Season 2.
Love you, Kyle.
I'm glad we worked out all our contract issues and shit to get you back on here. But everyone else, check us out. Peace.
See ya.